Can I beat Pikmin 2 without Red Pikmin? Ha! No. You silly goose, did you forget that reds are literally the first type you get in every single game? Nevertheless, we can still cheat the tutorial like any other Pikmin challenge run. I'm gonna use reds right up to the point where I can function without them, which should be right after we run Hole of Beasts. The rules of this challenge are simple. Once the Hole of Beasts has been beaten, no more red Pikmin. I'll be doing my best not to use them for any treasures or enemy kills either, leaving that to the purples and eventually other types as well. With all that out of the way, make sure to like the video if you end up enjoying it, and let's go! Day 1 is a normal Pikmin 2 tutorial. At the start of day 2, we get the only 36 red Pikmin we'll ever need, sneak past a couple Bulblax over here, and break down this wall real quick. We then hop into a merchant's cave, ignore some treasures real quick, and grab the busted purples. We only have 10 of these guys, but that's almost enough for what we need. However, we still need 1 red in this cave because of a little tricky thing I like to call math. You see, we have 10 purples. However, the sphere map requires the strength of 101 Pikmin to carry it. This means we have to use all 10 purples and a single red to get it back, unlocking the Awakening Wood for us. This is where it all starts to go downhill. You see, purples are strong. Really strong. We take out these Bulblax super easily, not to bring them back, but to clear the path for the Sunseed Berry, which is where we realize that the rest of Awakening Wood is gonna suck. See, we need to use purples and whites to reach Perplexing Pool, but we only have 25 Pikmin that we're able to use right now after Hole of Beasts. This will be the 10 Emergence Cave purples, as well as 15 whites that we got as purples from bringing back the last 15 reds we'll ever need into Hole of Beasts with us, and skipping Empress Bulblax because I'm not that insane. So this might take a little while. Heck, breaking down this wall with only purples has taken so long I've been able to write my whole script up till now while it's being broken down. It should be almost finished by now, so let's move on to the execution of our daring plan. Well, after all that, we decided to take a look at the White Flower Garden, where, shocker, we found some white flowers. From these, we unlock white Pikmin, who let us actually hit Honeywisps, and also break down these 2 crucial poison gates. That too. For the rest of day 3, we just smack this gate with our whites, which actually takes as long as it normally does, so we're fine there. Now, on to day 4. I'm sorry I asked. Apart from that, though, it goes alright. We get sidetracked by some silly berries and grab the other half of this globe from earlier. Then we just go ahead and grind some more spicy spray until sunset. Or until I run out of storage, apparently. Gotta manage my videos better. If you guys are at least getting some enjoyment out of my suffering, make sure to like the video because it helped me out. But anyway, on to Perplexing Pool for day 5. So here's where we run into a bit of a problem. A problem I like to call the fiery Bulblax. This is probably the most annoying enemy to deal with without reds. I just went ahead and fed it 5 whites to get rid of it, which hurt a bit, but we can get more tomorrow when we complete White Flower Garden. After that, we spend way too much time building a bridge and breaking down the wall, but now we finally, after all this time, have a Pikmin type we can actually get more of. Just the 4th of a day I spent with the yellows was great, because even after losing some to the Shearwigs, I still ended up with 100 at the end of the day, which was an incredible feeling after the slow, grindy hell of the last 4 days. Now, let's go ahead and move on to, hopefully, one of the most productive days in the video. It's time for day 6. And what a day it was! We built up our yellows a bit more, then beat Hole of Beasts and White Flower Garden again, collecting the last couple treasures along the way. There was some really weird stuff going on with White Flower Garden. I definitely entered the cave with 94. A yellow decided to visit the back rooms before we went in, but ended up with 90. And said I only lost 3? I may be a band kid, but I'm pretty sure that's not how math works. Anyway, after that, we managed to scrape together 32 blues and a couple more treasures before the day ended, and now we have 23 purples and 25 whites. All in all, pretty productive. Let's go ahead and tackle Bulblax Kingdom day 7. For the start of this day, I just build up my blues and break down the 2 walls to Bulblax Kingdom, all while getting the Chance Totem and some bitter spray. While the yellows break down this electric gate, I want to take the chance to reflect upon how far we've come. From just a team of 10 purples to a formidable fighting force, this run feels like it's just become a normal Pikmin 2 player, but with a few harder parts because of our lack of reds. It's interesting. I regret everything. We eventually got the tear stone down, but not without many tears being shed. Floor 4 was annoying because of this wollywog, but we eventually got through it. The rest of the cave was just the same old Pikmin 2 stuff, just cheese the boss and grab this treasure, which was slightly more annoying without reds. Next, let's go ahead and move on to the Perplexing Pool, because I just want to rip the band-aid off and do Submerged Castle earlier than I normally do. I forgot to record most of this day, but I just grinded blues and broke some walls and hit up the cave at the end of the day. Wow, I hate this level. The first couple floors were fine, but after that it really hit how much easier this cave is on the Wii. It took half the floor just to kill this stupid dweevil, and then we had to leave the floor because the raid was about to kill all our Pikmin. I barely made it out of sub-level 4 alive, and we had to leave the Gwent Beetle's treasure too. Not looking forward to revisiting this one. Day 9 was alright though. We built up our blues and got a couple treasures while also unlocking Shower Room. Now that we have 2 new caves to do and Glutton's Kitchen not far away, it looks like day 10 might be the day we finish the main story. So I just wanted to tune in real quick and add to the script. I hate Shower Room sub-level 1 right now. The problem is that this is literally the first time I've touched GameCube controls, and I'm having some trouble adjusting to the objectively worse control scheme. Anyway, thank you, now I'll let Future Shoot talk to you about Shower Room. So Shower Room was a bit annoying. Not gonna lie, it was kind of a bland cave, and when it wasn't bland, it had enemies in really inconvenient places. I'll save the rest for the cave ranking later, but I'll just say we got through it alright. Next up is Citadel of Spiders, which is a cakewalk compared to the actual endgame cave we just tackled. Lost one yellow that decided it didn't want to go fast enough to dodge a crawl mat, but other than that, no deaths. Next on our list, we have Glutton's Kitchen. It goes pretty well. We lost a couple Pikmin. Weird how I'm losing more Pikmin in the easy caves than the endgame one, but end up clearing almost 90% of the dead and becoming immune to electricity. Finally, it's time to pay one last visit to our old enemy, the Submerged Castle. It goes well enough. We have so few treasures left that we don't end up seeing the water wraith, but I forgot once again how many explosives are on sub-level 4. We do manage to get out with 10 new purples though, so that's a plus. Now it's time to grab a quick treasure and finally end the long day 10. For day 11, we got a couple treasures and drowned some Pikmin because I was being super careless with this puzzle, and I had also just woken up, but we managed to take them back in the end. We got a couple bitter sprays, but there's still one last treasure we'll leave for later. For now, let's head on to the Awakening Wood for day 12 and see if we can take on Snagret Hole. Okay, well, we can't, but we do manage to build both bridges and get quite a few blues. We'll get that treasure back tomorrow and clear Awakening Wood's last cave. We get there quickly enough and take out the Snagret, clear the above ground treasures in Awakening Wood, and head into Snagret Hole. The first few sub-levels are alright, but sub-level 4 and 5 start to get annoying with their armored cannon beetle larvae and antenna beetles. But we made it to the pileated Snagret with not much trouble, and I actually win the quickest pileated Snagret fight of my life. After that, we've cleared the debt and can return to Hocketate triumphantly, but you know it's not over yet. Louie, as always, decided he wants to make a post-game, so we're coming right on back. We make a quick stop at Perplexing Pool on day 14 to build our blues up some more and grab that last treasure along with some bitter spray, and then head to Valley of Repose the next day to finish off Emergence Cave and build a bridge behind this wall. Day 16 is a real doozy though. We take a party of Pikmin to break down the poison wall while I grab some blues to take down the fiery Bulblax, which goes pretty well. I then take some purples to grab the fossilized Ursidae, and after that it's getting to evening, so I don't have a lot of time. There's a chance I might be able to hit both Subterranean Complex and Frontier Cavern today, finishing off Valley of Repose, but it's slim. We hit Complex up first to rip the band-aid off, and I'm gonna go ahead and spoil the first part of the cave ranking video. I hate this cave. It's tedious, it's dangerous, it's possible to lose Pikmin even if you're careful, and there's a sub-level with 2 groinks. There's an insane amount of Dirigibugs and a bunch of hazards, and I hate the mana legs. This fight is either a huge loss or really annoying and nerve-wracking whenever I do it, because this fast strat requires exploding, and the good strat has you deal a small amount of damage, then go hide behind a wall while it fires, which doesn't even work if it gets too close. Sure, it's possible, and easier than I'm making it out to be, but it's always been a fight I've disliked on principle. I want to take another look at the rest of the cave, because another thing that bugs me about this cave format is how many items they decide to drop on you, namely explosives. Nowhere else in the game is this more prevalent than the infamous Subterranean Complex sub-level 5. I'll let the sped up footage under my talking speak for itself, but I'll rant about this too. The amount of explosives on this sub-level is the worst. Sure, you can take care of these kinds of levels by just taking a captain and smacking all the bombs and blowing up the dweevils, but the fact that one of the best strategies in a Pikmin game is not using the Pikmin really just goes against the principle of the series. The Pikmin games are about managing what little time you have to most efficiently get all the things you need. Pikmin 2's gameplay style is a lot more laid back, with no real limit to how much time you can spend in any area, with the exception of the day's time limits and Submerged Castle. This is totally fine, and it's still fun to speedrun the game or even just go through the caves as fast as you can, but just slowly going through and smacking some rocks, in my eyes, isn't Pikmin. Anyway, with that said, I somehow lost almost no Pikmin in this entire cave, only 4 to that stupid volatile dweevil on sub-level 7, which I immediately got back because 8 is a rest for. Mana legs was annoying, but ultimately I somehow managed to get through it on my first try with no deaths. Next, we're able to make it to Frontier Cavern before sunset, meaning that we can definitely clear Valley of Repose before the day's end. The first floor has like 3 doodlebugs, which means we now have an obscene amount of bitter spray because I learned how to do the silly spray glitch. We lose a couple Pikmin here and there, but the Bulbmen help keep our numbers up and give us something to deal with fire. Then we hit the boss fight, where it goes downhill. Okay, well maybe not that far downhill, but we lost like 15 Pikmin to the Bulblax larvae. I'm not going to spoil anything, but this fight definitely docks the cave some points. We managed to win and get the funny shoe though, and with that we have a whole 75 purples, which is crazy. Turns out redoing some of those caves was pretty good for our numbers, but with that we've cleared the first 3 areas in all their caves, meaning all that's left for us is Wistful Wild. First up, we got day 17. We spent the first half of the day getting some berries and clearing the way to the Hole of Heroes, but today's adventure's only just begun. Today we tackle the Cavern of Chaos. This was a really annoying cave without reds. The floors took quite a while, but were manageable enough, but floor 2 was annoying. I used 3 different methods for each fiery Bulblax. The first I killed with way too much bitter spray. I wasted a lot of spray in this cave. And the purple splash damage with their stomps. The second I just used 5 whites on, which did the trick quickly enough, and for the third I just punched it to death. Which I'm probably just going to be doing for the rest of the fiery Bulblaxes in the game. I hate that floor. The Grobster fight was as annoying as always, but I got through it with no deaths on my second attempt. With that, all we have left are my 2 favorite caves in the game, which also happen to be 2 of the toughest. And then I found out that I missed a treasure in the Cavern of Chaos. So we do a quick run of that on day 18, and then get right back to business. Cavern goes well enough, treasure was on floor 3, so we just grab most of the overworld treasures and hop into Hole of Heroes. It's pretty fun with a few tough moments, but mostly because of the annoying controls. Afterward, I decided to try and get the Conifer Spider before sundown to almost clear the above ground treasures, and got it back with mere seconds to spare. For day 19, I head to the Bulblax Kingdom to get more purples for the Doomsday apparatus, and then head back one final time to Wistful Wild for day 20. Bringing back the Doomsday apparatus was incredibly enjoyable. It was not. And then we hopped into the Dream Den. Sub-level 2 and 5 were annoying because of the fire, but manageable, and the rest of those levels were easy enough. I lost some Pikmin to a fire geyser on sub-level 8 that I forgot to kill, but all in all, I'm not doing too bad with that reds. Next couple levels I'm not playing too well, which leads to me losing a few more Pikmin and the President getting wombo comboed by a bumbling snitch bug and a dwarf spotty bullbear because for some reason the game decided I can't hit this dang thing and he was on red health because I punched a fiery Bulblax to death earlier. We have a bit of trouble with the last couple levels, but nothing too bad. The Bulbarbs in level 13 were laid out in a really annoying pattern, but guess what's purple and incredibly overpowered? Bitter Spray and Purple Pikmin. Now on to the final challenge. It's time to face the Titan Dweevil. Our strategy here is to bring in yellows because they're immune to electricity and can be thrown the highest, and take out the Monster Pump, Comedy Bomb, Flare Cannon, and Shock Therapist in that order, rescue Louie, and beat the game. I used almost all my remaining sprays on this fight. I learned halfway through that Bitter Spray actually works on the Titan Dweevil, which also appears to make the weapons take less damage, but that might have just been the weapons being really tanky in the first place. But in the end we beat it, clearing most of Pikmin 2 without using Red Pikmin. This was such a fun 14-hour and 12-minute run, and I appreciate you guys being here for the probably like 15 minutes of it. It's a really interesting take on Pikmin 2, and this is probably one of the only challenges of this type possible without some sequence breaking glitches or something. But if anyone wants to try something like that, I'd love to see it. Make sure to comment below what your favorite part of the run was, and if you'd like to try it out yourself. Make sure to follow me on Twitter if you really enjoyed this video, because I post about Pikmin quite a bit on there. And subscribe down below the video so you don't miss the rest of this week's catalog. I might have mentioned it earlier, but this video marks the start of Pikmas, a week straight of Pikmin-related uploads from me. So make sure you don't miss that. This was a fun video, but it's over now, so until next time, this is Shoot Kapow, over and out. Once Holo Beast has been beaten, no more Red Pikmin. Thanks, Discord ping. Okay, so future shoot here, the game file got corrupted, so I'm downloading a new emulator right now to do the last 10 days all over again. So I'm just gonna pick up where we left off. Never mind, apparently my data carried over. Okay, I'm not complaining. Namely, explosives. Sure, you can take these kind of levels out by taking... Excuse me? The games are about managing what little time you have to most effectively get all the fish. Okay. For day 19, I head to the Bulblax Kingdom. Yeah, that's what it's called. And shop. And subscribe down to what... Subscribe.